Hey everyone, and welcome to another meeting of the Tropical Rum Society, the first one in about 4 months' time. So obviously I have been away and not making videos for a while, but I am back, and I will explain where I was and everything like that at the end of the video if you're interested to hear, so make sure you stick around for that. But otherwise, you're here for the rum, so let's jump straight into that and talk about what we've got here today. So in my hand today, I have a bottle of Riverbourne Spiced Rum. It's their Spiced Rum number 5, actually, and I picked it up last year in Canberra at a small little market because this lady totally sold me on it. So pretty much she was explaining that they're a small batch distillery in Canberra. It's basically just her and her husband who run the place, and they are just doing it because they're really passionate. They really love making alcohol. So I had to get some. She gave me a taste. It was fantastic. I had to get some, and now we're going to finally review it. So firstly, we'll just briefly talk about the distillery and who runs it. So like I said, it is a husband and wife team, and the husband, Martin, actually turns out to be a third-generation pharmacist who's gone and just changed things up and taken that love and passion for alcohol and decided to make it into a business. His wife, Eileen, has helped him to turn his dream into reality. So essentially, she doesn't do the distillation side of things, as far as I understand, but she is definitely helping out with the other aspects of things, such as doing the bottling, doing the labeling, going to the markets, and actually, like selling it to the population. So she's definitely an integral part, and they seem to be working as quite a well-oiled machine to get all the alcohol out to the people. So Riverbourne don't just have their spiced rum, they also have a range of other things, including whiskey and gin. But today, obviously, Tropical Rum Society, so we're going to be talking about their spiced rum. So being a very small batch distillery, I'm sure you can understand there's lots going on and they don't have too much time to write up information on the internet. So there's not a huge amount that I found about this one, but I will give you what I know. So essentially, what my understanding is, they have a dark sipping rum, which they then spice to turn into their spiced rum. So in terms of the spices that this one has, it's a pretty familiar set. So we have allspice, orange peel, cardamom, anise, coriander, and I'm pretty sure that's going to make for a lovely mix of spices. I'm keen to try it. This one's sitting at 48%, so it's definitely not that standard 40 that you get from most rums that you would see at the shops. But it's also not anywhere up near cask strength either. So interesting choice. I'm sure they've probably got a particular reason they chose to do it at 48%. But as far as I could find online, didn't say. So we'll just have to stay a mystery, I suppose. This one's also sitting in a 500ml bottle rather than the 700 or the 750s that you would see out of other rums. But I am sure that they have chosen to go for quality over quantity. So while this rum may be smaller than the average bottle, just remember, it's not the size that matters, it's what you do with it that counts. Also, for anyone who's been around for a while, I actually tried the dark sipping rum during the 2020 Rumvent calendar that I did some reviews on. So I'll drop a link to that down in the description below, and if you do remember that one, and if you have been around for that long, let me know down in the comments, because that's a solid effort now. It's what, approaching 3 years? So thanks for following. So I think it's about time we get stuck into this rum so we can see what it's like and what the differences are between this and the dark sipping rum as well. So in terms of the appearance, we have a nice rectangular bottle. We have the cork top, which is always a nice touch. And we have quite an interesting little label here. The Riverbourne Distillery logo is definitely sleek and modern, but it's the image of Blackbeard that actually caught my eye here. I mean, who doesn't love a good pirate reference, especially with rum? It just screams, "Yar, matey, let's hoist the Jolly Roger and set sail for adventure." So overall, sleek, modern design, interesting visual there with that Blackbeard. I like it. I'm a fan. Now comes the part where I start to regret that I haven't gotten a new stand yet. Because we have to pour this into the glass without letting the camera stop. So, first things first, we take out the cork. Fantastic. Oh, it's already smelling like rum. I love it. Okay, next up, we get this, come over here, and splash it on in. Oh, we had a little bit of a spill down the side. Clearly I'm out of practice after 4 months, but forgive me. I will make it up to you somehow. I don't know how. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyway, let's get on to the smell. And what I meant by smell is actually the color of the rum, because I'm clearly out of practice and unprofessional. But we are rolling with it, we're going with the flow, we're taking our liabilities and turning them into assets for this video, because we've got to get 16 out before the end of the year. So, color. Nearly dropped it. The color, it's nice and light. It's kind of like a golden straw sort of color. Almost like a liquid gold. Or, even better, like a liquid sunshine. So, I'm sure the color is actually coming from the underlying rum, the dark sipping rum, might be influenced a little bit by the spices that get put into it, but I'm pretty sure that it was a fairly similar color when we were taking a look at it in the Rumvent calendar. So I think it's probably mostly that dark sipping rum. And now, with the visuals taken care of, it is actually time to move on to the smell. So, we'll give it a bit of a nose here. And one thing that I saw on the website was that this had a nose like the finest Christmas cake. So I see a little bit of what they mean there. It does give me Christmas cake vibes, but there's a little bit more to it as well. The nose is actually much lighter than I expected, just based on what I thought the legs were going to turn into. So there's a lot of kind of the rum base scent. Like, I'm not getting huge amounts of the actual spices, I don't think. But it does smell nice. There is a slight kind of pineapple-iness to it as well. Some citrus that I'm getting. Little hints of licorice almost. But yeah, I think this one's probably fairly lightly spiced because, yeah, I'm not getting too much of the star anise is a fairly strong scent and things like that. Not coming through too much. I suppose the citrus could be part of that orange peel. But in terms of how much I'm getting, I would have expected more from a spiced rum. So by no means am I saying that this is bad in terms of its smell. It's definitely quite pleasant. It's still well balanced. It's rounded. It's just not overly spiced. Like, it's not hitting me with a wrecking ball of spiced flavors. I'm mostly getting what appears to be the rum scent with hints of spice here and there. So usually when I have a spiced rum, the spices are kind of more stand out, whereas this is very light on those elements. In terms of the alcoholic vapor as well, that's coming a little bit through in the nose. It's giving me a little bit of a tickle, which is actually quite pleasant. So we'll see in the taste whether that alcohol is overpowering and whether any of those spices actually come through a little bit more. So cheers for our first drink in about 4 months together. It's nice to be back. Okay, so this one, I'm still not getting a huge amount of those spices, but it's definitely kind of deeper and warmer than the nose was. Like, it feels a little bit more oily, a bit heavier than I was expecting based on the smell, but it's quite decent. Like, I'm still looking for the spices, because it is a spiced rum, but I'm not disappointed that they're not there. It's got a nice finish to it. It's definitely warming up my mouth and my throat, and someone outside is deciding to trim the hedges right now, so that's awesome. But yes, it is quite decent in terms of like a fairly standard rum, but not what I would expect from a spiced rum. After taking a few sips, I do get a little bit more of the star anise coming through, that kind of licorice flavor, which is nice to actually find. But yeah, not really getting too much in terms of like the orange peel and the allspice and those sorts of things. There's also a decent amount of woody characteristics that come through in this, which I'm guessing is more from that dark sipping rum, and it's not quite as sweet as I was led to believe by the nose. It's definitely on the deeper side of things, but yes, not bad at all, just not what I would call a spiced rum. So that's going to do it for today with the Riverbourne Spiced Rum. It's certainly something that I was expecting more of those spices to come out in, but by no means is this a bad rum. It's just very, very light on those spices. So if you're someone who doesn't love when you get hit with like punches of vanilla and cinnamon and all those sorts of things, then this could be the spiced rum for you. So if you've ever heard of Riverbourne Spiced Rum or happen to know of any other small batch Australian rum producers, then let me know in the comments down below. In the meanwhile, I'm going to go get this bottle on the shelf, but then I'm going to be back to explain where I have been and what is coming up for the new meetings of the Tropical Rum Society. So, thanks for sticking around, hope you've enjoyed today's rum, and I will see you in just a second. So, as promised, a little bit of an explanation of why there hasn't been a meeting for the past couple of months. So, way back in April, I went and flew over to America, and then after that I was doing a bit of a tour around Europe, and so I didn't take anything with me. Like, I didn't bring any rum, I didn't bring my laptop to do any editing. I still have my phone, which is what I shoot these videos on, but I just kept finding reasons not to do it, and by reasons, I definitely just mean excuses. Like, I definitely could have gone and found bottles of rum. I was going to tiki bars, places like that, so I definitely could have put something together, apart from the editing really, but I don't know, I just wasn't completely convinced that I should, considering I was traveling around so much and everything would be so different. Didn't have the set here, but yeah, like I said, they were all just excuses. So, once I got back, my friend was like, hey, where are all the videos? What is going on? And I figured, all right, it's time to get back into it. And I am going traveling again at the end of the month, but this time, I'm going to take my stuff with me. We're going to change things up. Like, I've been doing the videos here, just in this one place the whole time, trying to keep it consistent. But I think it's about time that we start bringing in some new elements, start trying some new things. So it's still going to be rum-centered. We're still going to be talking about rums, doing the reviews. But I'm thinking maybe we start bringing in some cocktails, and maybe we start shooting some of these at the distillery and seeing if we can speak to some of the people who make rum. So definitely got lots of ideas for the future, and as I said in a little short earlier this week, that there's 16 Fridays left. Actually 15 now, because I suppose this one's out, so 15 to go. But yes, I want to get all 15 out before the end of the year. I set myself a goal of getting 24 done, and I'd still want to achieve it. I have the time, I have the ability, and I want to achieve it. So, this is my commitment to that. This is my promise to you. There will be 15 more videos before the end of the year, somehow, about something, and it will be to do with rum. So yes, hit subscribe if you're interested in seeing that. Stick around, and I will see you in the next meeting of the Tropical Rum Society next week. Thanks for stopping by, and I will see you soon.